This is the Pro, the Infinix Note 30 Pro, and welcome to its review. We've looked at the regular Note 30, but now we're looking at the Pro. And my guess is you're wondering, what makes this the Pro? Well, a couple things. The first thing you notice is the build quality. Like as soon as I picked this phone up, it had this premium feel to it. It's thin, it's boxy, it has a nice weight to it, and that's actually thanks to the glass rear. So that's a step up from the Note 30. The rails are made of plastic, shiny, glossy plastic, which as you can imagine, attracts a lot of fingerprint marks. The back is basically matte and has this glittery look to it. And unlike the regular Note 30, the Pro has a camera bump. So I would say that glass rear and that camera bump are the major physical differences. Everything else is the same. The ports are in the same place, they kept the headphone jack, and just like the Note 30, we have those JBL tuned stereo speakers. The fingerprint reader is on the power button too, that's on the right side. On the left we have the SIM tray, and it does allow you have two 4G SIMs and an SD card. This comes inbuilt with 256 gigabytes, so maybe you might not need that. I'm also not sure if this is just for the Pro, but it does have an IP53 rating, which means it's splash resistant, so don't go swimming with it. The Pro also has a 1080p AMOLED display, just like the Note 30, but one-ups it with a higher refresh rate display at 120Hz. And as you've probably seen, this also has a hole punch cutout for the selfie camera and way smaller bezels. The Pro hands down looks nicer. The display though is everything you would expect. Sharp, vibrant, and now fast and responsive thanks to that higher refresh rate. You can also use it outdoors and under direct sunlight, but with a bit of squinting. On its own, it's a very decent display. I mean, it has everything that most people want. And then when compared to the regular Note 30, the ProMotion display, smaller bezels, and that hole punch cutout makes it feel pro. One thing though that is the same on both devices is the software experience. This is running XOS 13 based on Android 13, and the UI and features are identical. There is no Material U, but it does have wallpaper theming. Not quite the same, but it works. I didn't point this out in my previous video, but the control center has been redesigned, or at least I think so. It looks more minimalistic. Infinix included 3 themes, 9 static wallpapers, 5 live wallpapers, and a bunch of always-on display options. XOS as usual is very customizable, but also typical of XOS is the inability to guarantee major OS updates. So there is currently no official word as to how many updates this would get. So in this case, the Pro is just like the Note 30. Another area where the Pro takes a W is in the camera section. The main camera on the Pro is a whopping 108 megapixel sensor. It also has a 2 megapixel depth sensor and a QVGA lens, so essentially one camera at the back. And on the front, it has a 32 megapixel camera, which is twice the megapixel count as that on the Note 30. Even though in my opinion, the Note series isn't really camera centric, the photos it produces though are pretty good. Color, sharpness, dynamic range are all on point. When taking pictures of close-up subjects, it does naturally blur the background, and it does that really well. I do think that saturation is a bit on the high side, and in some cases it works really well, and in other cases it makes the image look kinda fake. I also took some photos at night using the dedicated night mode, and the photos are kinda decent. And for the selfie cameras, well, with good lighting, you would get good results. One other main advantage the Pro has over the regular Note 30 is with video stabilization. The Pro has an ultra steady mode which shoots in 1080p, and that's definitely the mode you want to be shooting in. The video quality isn't going to blow your mind, but it does get the job done. But again, those are just my thoughts. I would like to know what you think about the video and photo quality. The Pro comes with the Helio G99 chipset and 8 GB of RAM. The G99 has been really popular this year, with a lot of smartphone manufacturers opting for it. It has a couple advantages though, one being power efficiency, thanks to it being built on a 6nm process. That should mean better battery life, especially when handling heavy tasks like gaming. It's also what allows the phone to have that 108 megapixel sensor and also that higher refresh rate display. All that is cool, but how does it handle multitasking? Well, really well. You can have multiple apps open in the background without any issues. apps open quickly, and I think in conjunction with that higher refresh rate display, everything on the phone feels smooth and responsive. The only thing I notice is that when you leave an app, there's no animation whatsoever. Like, it's pretty jarring sometimes. Looks like a software problem, so hopefully it can be fixed with a software update. It's also supposed to be better at gaming than the Note 30, but in FIFA Mobile, I noticed that it plays the game in the exact same settings, so I don't know what's up with that. But even at that medium graphics setting, it does play the game well with no issues at all. And based on what other creators have told me, it handles all other major titles really well too. I gamed for 30 minutes straight and I didn't notice any overheating issues. Again, that's the G99 putting in the work. The last thing to mention would be the battery. It has a 5000 mAh cell, and when paired with that highly efficient Helio G99, it does give you very decent battery life. For my testing, it took 5% of the battery when I played FIFA Mobile for 30 minutes straight. So doing some quick math, that should mean you can play for 9 hours plus before it dies. In addition to that, I watched a 40-minute episode of a show and it took only 5% of the battery. Also, doing some quick math, that means it would take around 11 hours to run out of juice if you're just watching movies. That's pretty impressive. I'm surprised it took me this long to mention this, but the Pro has straight up wireless charging, and Infinix gave you the wireless charging pad in the box. It charges at 15 watts, so it's kind of slow, but it's still cool seeing a phone in this price category come with wireless charging. And on top of that, there's also reverse wireless charging. So you could use your Infinix phone to charge other phones and accessories. How cool is that? And then for wire charging, this comes with a 68 watt charging adapter, again for free. And it would take 40 minutes to charge this phone fully from 0%. The battery specs and features are hands down top tier. So to answer the initial question raised, what makes this the Pro? Well, the glass rear, the higher refresh rate display, the 108 megapixel main camera, the highly efficient Helio G99, wireless charging, reverse wireless charging, and significantly better battery life. For $178,000, you would get the Note 30 Pro. And I think besides the lack of major OS updates and the drawbacks of XOS, you would actually be impressed and definitely satisfied with the overall features and value that the Note 30 brings. That's been it. Thank you so much for watching, and I would see you when you see me.